So today on NewbieVeT, got a special guest. We got my guy, KNB.
Yes, sir.
Nailed it?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Cool. All right, so man, how you been doing?
I've been doing good, chilling, man. Just got back from going across country last week.
What you doing?
I went out there originally to go get a car for my brother, but it ended up being one of these long country trips that I did some videoing on. I had a great time meeting a whole bunch of different people. Did a little bit of protesting in LA while I had the chance, and just like enjoying my life, man.
Yeah. So you went to LA.
Yeah.
So you drove from Augusta?
No. I flew from Atlanta. And I drove a Ford Mustang back from Los Angeles back to Augusta.
Oh man. So you went through a couple states and stuff.
Yeah, I did a couple of states.
So was there like some were there protesters in each certain places?
Yeah, we had some protesters in San Diego, definitely in Los Angeles. Michael B. Jordan was out there listening to him talk. And what were we talking about? New Mexico. New Mexico had a whole lot of protesters. I didn't think that there'd be that many protesters.
Mexico.
Yeah. New Mexico's a trip. Actually, majority of it is like you would think isn't desert, but like once you get into like one of them towns, it's just massive amount of white people, black people, but a lot of Mexican people was out there too. So we had like a little mix of everybody out there. So it was it was just nice to see. It
was nice to see different races coming together.
Yeah. Especially when it's your race, like coming together for your race. Finally, we popular enough for everybody to be getting on with us. So,
do you feel like that some different races are only doing it on the strength of they know that a lot of money comes from the black community?
I think it depends. I mean, because just like every cop isn't a bad cop.
Right.
Every white person isn't out for money. But then you have that certain few that are in there. So, we could always be infiltrated.
Right.
We've been infiltrated more than once. So why wouldn't they? So I do believe that there are people there only because, we can make money off of this, or they're gonna need us. We're gonna need them later. We're not gonna need them, but they're gonna need us later on.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past them. I would never put that past them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what are your thoughts about everything going on with George Floyd, the whole nine?
The George Floyd thing, I think, was absolutely ridiculous. I'm more of a person, I'm more of a human race kind of person. Not to say that my black brethren and stuff like that is not worthy of my specific support. But like I said, there's always different types of people. But I don't think that every officer is a bad person.
Right.
Just like every black person that's out there marching is necessarily out there for the march or for the cause.
Right. Sure.
But in all together, I think it's just, I think it's I'm glad that everybody's out there doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's about time that they got out there and somebody supported the black race in a proper way that's supposed to be supported. Exactly. Even though there's riots and looting. I think we low key need that. We don't need just the peaceful protest. That don't work. Right. Martin Luther King tried that.
We were trying that for years and it don't work.
It don't work.
Yeah.
So now that we riot and now it's a different portrayal of us, and it's it don't make sense. It don't make sense for y'all not to understand why we mad. Right. Martin Luther King said it best: rioting is the language of somebody not being heard.
Right.
So yeah, we tried it. We tried it that way. Now we're trying it this way.
Right.
I think it's actually better this way. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I think it's better. I actually think, because a lot of people get it confused too. A lot of people think that black people are rioting in the name of George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's not true.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not true because we didn't know George Floyd for one, but it was just it was the last straw for black people.
Yeah, it's an image that was portraying. You got a bunch of cops, one cop with a knee on this man's neck as he screamed out for his mother.
Yeah. And
the rest of them got their hands in their pockets.
Right.
What kind of human being does that? You sit there and watch this? I don't care what type of job you got.
Exactly.
Your job is to protect us.
Right.
That's what our tax-paying dollars are for you to protect us, not for you to kill us. If everybody on the sidewalk can't come and attack you because it's going to make it worse, you're supposed to be like, yo, come on off his neck. That's all you have to do. Yo, don't do that. You're going to kill this man. Right. But part of me think that that's what they wanted to do. This is what we want to do. We're gonna need this uproar at some point. So exactly. It was ridiculous. It was stupid, and for all of us to have to sit there and keep watching that over and over and over. Trayvon, George Floyd, you know, Sean Bell. Like, how many times we gotta keep watching this? Like, so I think it's about time. Like, you know, the opportunity presents itself that we have to go to a real civil war where it will really be some civil war. Like, I'm with it. Like, I'm with it.
Right.
It can't be. I'm being prepared for that. I've been in the boxing gym. I've been at the firing range. I'm with it. Like, come on now. Like, I'm about ready for this. It's about time, man.
Yeah, that's about right. Okay. So yeah, man. You're from New York.
Yes, Staten Island.
Staten Island, New York. So for those who don't know, they haven't never been in New York. Like, is it something like Brooklyn, Bronx, or something totally different?
Staten Island is totally different.
Yeah.
So, like, we've been, me and my sister and my family's been all over the New York in general, just not living wise, but like hanging out wise and going places. That's just what we did. But Staten Island is like its own monster. Like, I don't think anybody that's from Staten Island that leaves Staten Island really feels so fantastic about it. I'm actually glad to be going out of Staten Island. It was not one of my favorite places. I have specific people there that I enjoy and I love, and I've had different instances that brought me to where I am in life, but it's too much. Like, you know, between the racism that you gotta deal with, between, you know, just people in general, everybody's so close. Staten Island is literally an island. That's it. Can't get on it without going through bridges. So, like, it's everybody knows everybody. Everybody's this one's cousin and this one's that one's cousin, but that one's your cousin too. But it's like, yo, but none of y'all could get along. Nobody can ever get along.
Right.
And it's like, you know, it's like the realization of when this is gonna end. Like, when you gonna stop, you know, being immature. When we all gonna grow up.
Right.
And, you know, I think Staten Island has a hard time doing that in general. Like, from, you know, middle school up, it's been the same tide with them, the same thing. Yo, we run with this person, this one runs with this one. You know, we not banging with y'all, but, you know, we might bang with this one. It's just ridiculous. Like, so it's either you join the gang or, you know, you either get killed or, you know, you just get lost in the mess of the madness of it, unless you decide it's time to go. I'm ready to leave. And it was about time. I was ready to leave.
So when you left, and so what made you decide to come to Augusta?
Nothing necessarily made me decide to come to Augusta, because I came down here after my sister came down here to go see my uncle Baruti. He owns Humanity House. Yeah. So they came down here. I heard about it. I necessarily didn't want to come down here.
Why?
Because I didn't want to go start over again. I didn't want to do the new town thing. I didn't want to be the person that just came here and don't know nobody. I can't stand starting over from scratch unless I got somebody with me. So for me at the time, I was just trying to make moves. I'm 17, 18 maybe, trying to make moves. I came down here for a visit with my pops and my mom. After me and my sister got in our bus crash accident, we came down and decided we were ready for a move.
Bus crash accident?
Yeah. We got in I want to say 08. I was in 8th grade, 08. We got into a bus crash accident on New Jersey Turnpike. Right. Apparently, I want to say the bus driver didn't fall asleep. Actually, I actually fell asleep. I fell asleep. But from what I know is 18-wheeler jackknifed and then went inside and ran right into the bus from the backside. Yeah, went right into the front of the bus, tore up the driver, tore up that whole left side. So me and my sister, we was on our way to I think we'll say Herndon, Virginia. I think that's where our grandmother lived at the time. Herndon, Virginia, and we just got on the New Jersey Turnpike. So, you know, from Staten Island, New Jersey Turnpike, it's not that far. It's maybe a couple exits from where you're at. But so I'm getting ready to get comfortable for that ride to Virginia, and I'm laying there, I'm sleeping, got my eyes closed. I'm like, okay, this is nice. They hear all this screaming, so I'm like, can y'all shut up? I'm trying to sleep. Can y'all shut up? Yeah. So my sister started making noise. I open my eyes. I look at my sister. She's screaming. She looks at the front of the bus. I look at the front of the bus. Here comes this 18-wheeler going through the bus. And then we hold each other.
Coming through,
actually coming through ripping through this bus. There's pictures. If you look online and go to New Jersey Turnpike bus accident, you would literally see like a couple of pictures of the bus that we was on. And it rips through the bus and it shakes us around. I think I hit my head on the one of the seats in front of me. That was all I remember. Now, all right, so so I wake up. Right. This is why I low key got like Moss with my sister. I wake up, this fool is running on top of the chairs to get out of the bus.
As your sister.
Yeah. I wake up, I see her booking it like out of the bus. I'm like, I'm not dead. Like you could have got me. Like
she done left you on the bus.
She left me right.
Oh, that is messed up.
It was nuts. But by the time, when she, she's like the worst person, So God. She gets out the bus, she jumps down off the seats down to where the stairwell of like a charter bus is. The door's knocked off the hinges. She jumps down, she lands on the door. Under the door is a lady, and she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She has no idea. She gets off the bus. She's a little bit frantic about it. I finally get out the bus. My initial reaction is to be scared. But so I come out the front of the bus, the front window of the bus, I jump out. But I'm laughing, and I don't mean to laugh, but it's a bad reaction. Like some people don't do well at funerals. Some people actually laugh sometime at funerals. They don't quite react properly to funerals. Yeah. So we get out the bus, everybody losing their minds, and I'm just walking out there, my hands out laughing. I'm like, part of me is like, why am I laughing? But I'm like, it is what it is. I'm not I'm not dead. What's up? I'm still here. So we're having. So, we try to get each other back to a normal state. Right. So I do a little bit of playing around. I don't take too much stuff seriously. Mm-hmm. It's a rare occasion when you see me take stuff seriously. I do a whole lot of joking. It don't matter what it is. I don't care what you tell me. I'm going to make a joke about it later on. And so then we end up doing that. We end up going to the hospital or whatever. And, later on down the line, it turns into a lawsuit. We win our lawsuit, and the money that we get is a sufficient amount of money to help our parents leave Staten Island. She was going into the military. I was still kind of figuring out what I was doing because I was still getting my diploma. Yeah. So, at that time, it's all right, everything worked out perfectly. We felt good about what we were doing. Once they made the move down here, my initial thought was I'm not going to move down here. I'm going to stay in my hometown because I know people and my best friends is here and this, that, and the third. A little bit a year after that, they raised the rent in our apartment because I don't know if y'all know that there's a value difference. In New York, you could be paying a lot of money for a small bedroom apartment that's not really that great compared to down here. You'll be buying mortgage on a house, or you might mess around to get a luxury apartment down here, or you might get a car with as much money you pay for rent.
For one bedroom in New York.
Yeah, so it's it's low key ridiculous. So once I realized put together the price of living was different, that was part of the reason that I came down here. But the other side was they were just going through an eviction at the moment. So it was best bet is just leave it all and just move on. Ain't no point in paying such and such dollars to then have to pay such and such dollars next month. So it was all right, let's go. So we took what was essential, and my immediate move wasn't to move to Augusta. I went to North Carolina first. I went to Fayetteville for a while.
Fayetteville, okay.
Yeah. My grandmother had moved from Virginia to Fayetteville. So, we made that move to Fayetteville for a while. I want to say about a year, because I was it might have been a year or a couple months. But I was still turning 20. I was just getting ready to start truck driving. But I also was going to school at the same time. So I went to school, and then after I was done with school and truck driving, I came and moved here. My parents I think they just bought a boutique or something downtown. Yeah. It was either a boutique or it was a boutique that my mom had downtown. And I was like, all right, I'm going to come move here, and this is where I'm going to be at. I'm going to station here, which wasn't that bad because I hadn't seen my parents in months. Yeah. It felt good to hang around my parents again. I think my sister came that following week, so it kind of made everything a smooth transition. So it was a fire move. I can say honestly, moving to Augusta was a one of the best ideas that I've ever had to be involved in. Because I'm not gonna say come up with, because I definitely didn't come up with this. Yeah. this is like a oops, but it was like a good oops.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it was like one of them good decisions. Like, you know, it's proper.
The reason I ask, when you think of Georgia, people, Augusta's not the first place you think of. Everybody think of Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
You know, Atlanta or even Savannah.
Yeah, I didn't really know about Savannah like that, really. Honestly, I knew of Atlanta, but didn't really know much of Atlanta. Like,
right.
You know, I didn't even know what they be saying. Like, it's like ATL Hope. Is that what they say?
ATL.
Yo, for like, from 05 to like 2017, I was saying ATL Hope. I was like... So I didn't know much about Atlanta at all.
But that actually was a song, ATL Hope.
Was it?
Yeah.
Cause that's all I be screaming. Yeah. Like, yo.
They say ATL Hope too. Lil Jon,
I'm like,
Baby D.
Yeah. I just thought that's what they were saying, but then I found out it was Hope. I was like, oh, okay, that's more inspiring. That's more.
So when you first came down into Augusta, and start interacting with some of the people that you did music and stuff with, was the slang different?
The slang was different, but the translation was the same. The emotional translation of what was being said was the same. But like, so now like my New York side and my southern side are like intertwined. Yeah. So like, you know, I will say like words like son and B and stuff like that, right? Or like, you know, all different types of stuff. Yeah. But then I'll say finna, and I can't say like, I used to be able to say like bread. Like bread would be a word, but now I'd be like, yeah, you know, let me go get a slice of that bread. I was like, why am I saying that like that? I don't talk like that. I've never talked like this in my life. Who are you? Like, I never understood it. So like, you know, I do a whole lot, like it's different. So New York like enunciates like a lot of stuff. Right. Southern slide them words.
Southern, we create our own slang. We leave out letters. Yeah, we leave out a lot of letters and words. We create our own words. So,
but everything is like smooth. It's like white Hennessy. Like it's just nice. It's smooth. You feel me? Like it's just easy going. So like certain words that I just feel like I'm not gonna try to enunciate this. I let the southern side come in and take over. Like I got this. Don't worry, cowboy. I got you. Like.
Yeah. So you came down to Augusta and start working with the music and stuff, because you've been doing music since you were 4, right?
Yes, I've been doing music since I was 4.
And your father, your sister's Ice.
Yes, sister's Ice.
I interviewed her like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And she told me that y'all father was, you know,
Cool Kim from the UMCs, and also NY Oil. So
NY Oil.
With that, I started young. I didn't take to it as fast as she did. She boom, immediately snapped into it. That was her thing. One of her first songs was Believer. One of the first songs that I was like actually on with no lyrics. I was 4, and my dad turned on the mic, and I started just talking. And then the first thing I guess I said out of my mouth was like, everything my dad's be saying is nothing. And then he just took it and then just added it to one of his songs. And I'm like now that I think about it, I'm like, I be trying to recreate some of these things, like, you know, some of these things with my daughter. Like, so like the importance of music now has like, you know, a significant like importance now, because being around it, I hadn't realized that not only is he making something for people to hear, he's also talking about what he's going through, or like, you know, catering to whatever his emotional state is. There's so many different variants to it now. Mm-hmm. So now I've kind of like realized the importance of it now. So he got me nice, started early and young. We actually had a group, me and my brother, my sister, Ice, and my brother Smooth. We had a group called Legendary. Yeah, it was Legendary. We had a group called Legendary. My first rhymes was literally the ABCs. Like ABCs, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Like that was my whole rhyme.
That was the verse.
That was the verse. I was like, I think it was like 5. Like,
okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, I wasn't like that. That was 5. That was my verse.
I say if you saying that like you 15, you know.
If I was saying like that 15, we might as well interview over, because ain't no point in me being here. Let me drop an album with the alphabets on it. When that's just it. Jesus Christ. Don't let that be a thing. Y'all got the wrong person in here. We might as well wrap this joint up, yo. But that was one of our first ones, and then I think we moved to Maryland after that, and then we got a little bit more serious, and I forget what the last one of the other songs that we did. We had what's that joint called? What's it called? Song Grinding. Some grind and none of y'all didn't get him. Yeah, so we ended up doing a remix of that for one of our football teams, and I was cheerleading. I was playing football. She was a cheerleader. Yeah, she was a cheerleader at first. She was a cheerleader. She was a basketball player, and I want to say she was a linebacker.
Linebacker too.
Yes. Ice was a linebacker. Ice was a linebacker, and it is what it is. And she is probably like looking at. Like we're not gonna take this out. Don't give them the hands. We're not gonna take this out. It is what it is. Yeah. She threw on the shoulder pads. She got out there on the field and she did her thing. Oh, that's what's so probably didn't want nobody to know that, but she could have went pro. She could have went. She could have did it. Went to the Atlanta Falcons. Did something with it. Like you feel me? Like, but yeah. So we end up doing a song. Camp Springs. Tigers, none of y'all kids getting by us. You can't deny us. Like, we had a whole joint. Like, that was the joint, and everybody was with it. So, like, we started doing more and more. And at that time, he was like, my dad was real adamant about, if we wanted to be involved in music, this is what it takes to be in music. Right. At a young age as a kid, myself, everything was like, I just want to have a good time. I don't want to need money to have a good time. I want to have a good time. I don't want to do no work. I just want to have a good time. Right. So I didn't really take to it as much. I didn't take to a lot of stuff as a kid as much, with my pops. So like, if it was comic books and stuff like that, I'm with him 24/7. That's it. Comic book. So a comic fan? Yeah, comic fan. To
Marvel or DC?
Both.
Both. Yeah.
Both. I can't say either or because you can say Captain America and Black Panther and Icon, and then we got Icon on DC side, which is like Black Superman, right. And then you have, you got Black Lightning and Static Shock on DC side. So there's so many different types of variants in comic books, right. and it's ridiculous. But he the one that put me onto it. So that's been where our bond was. Our bond really wasn't music. Our bond was comic books and anime. Later on in the years, he started watching anime. I remember I wouldn't say first anime, but by me knowing him watching anime was I think his man Shadi, our uncle, would bring these tapes, like back when, VCR tapes, when you couldn't just go online and get the anime with the Japanese words on it. So you get the tapes and you put them in there, and it was like Dragon Ball Z, but it was like the Buu saga back, and I remember seeing Trunks and Goten, and it being Japanese, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I know this is Dragon Ball Z, but this is like weeks before America got this, months before America got this. Yeah. So I'm like, he's on to something. Like, he got a little something. Right. So like, then that's what kind of put me on to more of the comic book side and having a good time, which like kind of shaped my identity for itself, really, to be honest with you. But that music thing hit later on, like, when it wasn't so valuable or like, so accessible. Right. So when it lost its accessibility, that's when I kind of like, okay, I want to get into this. Like, it doesn't feel like I have to do this. Right. I could just do that on my own leisure and my own terms. Right. But I just like kind of like stuck with some of the stuff that I remember him telling me and showing me throughout that process, and then just started trying to add it slowly but surely, and then started coming up with good music. I mean, like, at this point, I make music that even if it resonates with me, I'm good with it. Like, yeah. So, like, I think that's about where I'm at with it, with music.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, far as the new music that you working on and stuff like that, what are some of the features or some of the ideas or some of the songs that you're working on? Okay, so I got my songs that I'm working on now on this album called B-Town, which is really about me, things that I've been through. But it's you're not necessarily gonna get, and she broke my heart, and her name is such and such, because I don't need no slander lawsuits. Listen, I don't need those. But I do have, most of them are in sub level, like, so the people that know me know what it is. So I've been working on a couple of songs. Definitely the B-Town intro is one of my favorites because it's the break point. Like, as soon as you turn this on, this is what you're getting. Right. I got another song I'm working on called A Plan, which I feel like is very important to me because it talks about a certain
like a certain big section in my life, a good solid amount of my life taken up for a certain person will say,
right.
You know, and it makes it just, you know, makes sense for me, you know, for both sides. I got a feature with my pops, which it took forever to get one of these. Because
he hit you with the Jay-Z.
Yeah, he finally got around to it.
Jay-Z.
Like I finally got one of those, but I think the fact that I let him do whatever he wanted to do on this track, he brought exactly what I wanted to do. See, I'm one of the people that will talk to you about love, but I'll go on the freaky deaky side of things. I'll step into that realm. That's my thing. I enjoy it. I feel like, you know, I don't necessarily have to always rap to capture that certain essence. Like, you know, me and my sister, my brother, my father, we can rap, but I'm kind of like trying to like branch off and do a little bit of something different. Find a little bit of like leeway in the middle parts of that. So, I probably have I probably have 2 or 3 songs with Ice.
Shout out Ice.
Yeah, shout out Ice. Ice is something else. Yeah, so hopefully we get something going, because even though we're in a group, we do a couple of things.
Well, yeah, y'all are in the group too.
Yes, we are.
What's the name of the group?
Wolf X Ice.
Wolf X Ice. Okay.
Yeah, Wolf X Ice. It started. The funny thing is that it was a 3-man group at first, and then we dropped one of the men from the group. Yeah. We're not gonna say how he dropped the man from the group, but he knew how he got dropped from the group. So, and then we end up creating Wolf X Ice. You know, we only live fast is the Wolf, and Ice part is I create everything. So it's all abbreviated, but it all has its essence in its sense. Okay. But so it started out as the 3-man group. We let the one dude go, and then we just been making music like together ever since. So,
y'all ain't never thought about replacing the 3rd one?
No.
Like a Destiny Child?
No, we don't need no Michelles.
Like a Fuji?
We don't need no Michelles, and and it is what it is, okay? Right. That's what it was, and we're gonna let it be what it is. A great artist, fantastic artist, but like emotionally, definitely a Michelle. Definitely a Michelle. I couldn't say I wanted to, you know, great friend. I'm not gonna cap, great friend, but he know he Michelle. All right, let's be real here.
Yeah, just some people, just when it comes to some things, like some people just might be better at friendships than better than business.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
You know,
yeah, that definitely better friends than
business partners and work.
Than business partners.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay, cool. And so you also have a daughter?
Yes, I do. Soraya, Jamila Sharpton. So yeah, Denise is first and middle name.
So what was your first thought process when you first found out you got to have a child?
I gotta tell my mom and dad. Was the first thought process. Yeah. The second thought process was at the time she was born in Texas. So I definitely wanted her where I was at. So second thought process was like, yo, let me go get my kid. So got my kid. I'm really pretty like tight knit about family. So like, even though me and, you know, her mother are not together, you know, it's like, yo, that's my daughter's mother. So that makes you family. Right. But, you know, so you come down here too. So my daughter makes sure that she has her mother and she has her father. Oh, so that's like very important. Like there's nothing more important than like that to me. Like, you know, what my daughter needs is more important than how I feel or anything else. So when I had my daughter, it was different. It was different because her mother had 3 sons before that, and I was used to dealing with boys for a long time. So then when I had my daughter, it was like, it was like so different. It was like I was even holding like a human being at this point. It's like I was holding this little angel, and then it was like, and then as she started getting older, I started just holding this demon child. She started getting attitudes and saying things like, you know, I'm going over here to do this thing, mommy said. And I'm like, we're gonna have to break that. We're gonna have to break that. That don't work for me. So, you know, after a while, like we developed, you know, which is very important. I think it's developing a certain aesthetic with your kid. So when I deal with my daughter, I deal with her from the expectation that, you know, you're going to be a smart individual. You know, I'm not going to keep talking to you like you're a baby because, you know, that's not, you know, I'm not going to do that goo goo gaga thing with you. And I'm not going to, you know, mix up the word like, why are you crying? Like, I'm not doing that stuff. I'm not doing that with you. No, I don't talk like that because you're going to have me talking like that. Right. And then I'm going to have to be around adults at some point. Right. But, so I try to talk to her at a mature state, but also keeping the idea that she's a kid. My overall, like, goal with her is, like, when I do all my traveling I do, because I do a lot of running around. So, I want to start taking her with me so she can be less of a homegrown child and be more of an international kid. You can't expect somebody to have an identity that they're not like accustomed to or they're not common to. Like, right. You know, even though me and my sister and brother didn't, you know, really get the opportunity to live with my dad when he was in the Cool Kim stages and, you know, traveling to London and things like that. You know, they still made sure, you know, we left the States at some point. We went on cruises to go to Bahamas. We went to Florida and certain places, you know, we had dreams and aspirations. They made sure that we had these things, that it was a reality. Right. So I'm trying to now form that for my child and maybe my future children and, you know, my wife someday, like, yo, this is what it is. Like, you know, we can't go around living, yo, we from Augusta, or, you know, we from, you know, Staten Island, or we moved to Buckhead. Now we from now. It's not what it is. Like, right. I feel like, you know, we live in an age now that everything on the internet is you're seeing everything that you ever wanted to see. Now it's time to figure out how to reach that. Right. It's like super important to reach, you know, that dream. We live in a world where technology takes over. Right. We have to live in why can't we achieve our dreams? Do we have to still be in the hood? Right. I literally get on my phone right now, call one of my old friends. He's gonna still be in front of the same building that he was in when I lived in New York. Right. He's still gonna be there. Right. 3 o'clock in the morning, he's gonna be there.
Right. So that's why you created a YouTube channel for.
Yes. I haven't, to be honest with you, I'm like between names right now. I mean, you know, it could be Traveling with B or something else, but I'm really like on Traveling with B, but I might change it later on. But the whole concept of it is showing people in our age. I'm like 26. I'm 26, and, you know, people younger than me and slightly older than me, we sit on like the internet all day watching everybody on Instagram. You know, this one's flying out to Miami. Right. You know, this one's over here in Puerto Rico. This one's in California. Oh, we leaving the States. We in New Zealand. And you're saying to yourself, oh, I'd love to go there. I want to be there. Oh, that's so nice. I bet you're having a good time. But in the process of them posting these things up, they never say, well, you know, I did this because I went on this site. This is how I did. I went on this site. I spent this amount of money. And I packed about maybe 1 or 2 things and bought clothes on the road. Like, things that they never tell you, that you're like, yo, if you just give me the back door to do this, we all could be doing this. Right. But see, that problem about that is it goes back to this thing I heard on The Incredibles, which when I first seen The Incredibles was on a cruise ship, the Disney cruise ship going to St. Thomas, where my grandfather's from. So one of the things that was said on there was, Syndrome gets on there. He's like, you know, I'm gonna take all these technological items that I created, and I'm gonna give them out to the world, because if everybody's super, nobody is. Right. Nobody wants to be. If everybody's special, nobody is. Nobody is. So they want to keep it in that little section of we're special. So we're not gonna tell you how to do this. The whole YouTube channel is me going out. So I go across country from Atlanta to Los Angeles, and through those travels, I'm showing everybody how you can afford to do this. You know, when I go to do my channels and flights, I book from Just Fly. You know, Just Fly is a massive website that accumulates every type of flight that you could think of and compresses it to the cheapest amount of flights, the amount that you can take.
Didn't know that.
Exactly. Nobody knew that. Right. So I literally could fly from here to New York and back all together for $69.
What?
For $69. People be breaking up, but yo, I can't do that. Just like a $200 trip.
$300 trip.
You're like, nah, son, you could get on the plane for $69. You all right? Now you did that. Now go on Airbnb. Airbnbs, the variant of Airbnbs and the price they cost are less than hotels. Hotels, you're running the least you're gonna run is $98 in a hotel. Hotel $98 a night. Airbnb, you can mess around, be there for 3 days, $250. You know, couple of days. I actually got an Airbnb when I was in Los Angeles for about 3 days, and that ran me like $110. That's 3 times more than what I'd be paying at a hotel.
Right.
So, you know, you think to yourself, yo, I gotta have this much. You know, all these models don't never tell you that they flying out from Spirit Airlines. Because Spirit Airlines ain't the wave. It's not, you know, JetBlue. Shorty over there in coach with you. Like, her knees hurt too because the old boy's back is in her lap. Like, she's not gonna tell you that. She's gonna show you her drinking in a bathing suit, you know, in front of a BMW i8. That's what she's gonna show you.
That's true.
But she never gonna tell you about that flight that she had to take next to the old sweaty white man that stink. He ain't gonna tell you that, or how she had to hold her bladder because she couldn't get out the window seat. Yeah, like, you know, she ain't gonna tell you that stuff. So, like, you know, that's the whole point of that idea is like, yo, we need to show these people how they can live. The suicide rate for the United States and the world in general has skyrocketed. I want to say since 1997, if I'm correct. 1997, 1998. And it skyrocketed like massively. And that's like right when 1997 and 8, like that close to 2000 era is when the internet started really taking off. AOL and all that started taking off. Google had got its hit like 2002, I want to say. And then everything started becoming accessible. So I see all these amazing views, these people taking pictures. And now that, you know, it's right on your phone. Like every day Instagram is right on your phone. You see these things every day. And it starts racking in your head about how you want to, how I'm going to make this happen. How am I going to be able to see the world? You know, I got to, you know, you fiend for independence so hard that you end up, you know, stressing yourself out to not even like getting any of this stuff done. And at the end of the day, either killing yourself or trying to supplement it with, you know, something else, you know, I'm like weed, drugs, you know, it's like, and, you know, I have nothing against my weed heads, you know, that, you know, it is what it is. We know that, you know, the government don't want you to have it because they don't really know how to properly tax it properly, you know how that goes, you know, I'm with y'all, but like, you know, that's also a supplemental drug that you're doing because you can't access it, like the actual dreams you want to access. No. You know, you want to get up and go and take them flights. You know, you want to I want to hop in a car and drive. Like, tomorrow I'm hopping in a car and heading out. I'm leaving the state tomorrow just to go do something. Yeah. Like, I want to just get up and do something, and people won't tell you that because it's not the wave to say. I'm like, I want to go bungee jumping. Like, yeah. And then you with your mans and everything, like, yo, you ain't never going, but yo, you so stupid. That's stupid. All right, pass the blunt. Like, all right, like this makes sense. All right, cool. Like, yeah, all right. But not realizing that, you know, it costs you less amount of money to go skydiving than to constantly accumulate weed in a week. So that whole experience that you could have had, you're gonna smoke away in a week. And people would spend at least like, you know, $20 on weed, the minimum. If you really got it. If you really and for some reason you'll find a way to get that weed money. Oh yeah. Won't find that way to get that skydiving money.
That rent neither.
Yeah, the rent, none of that. You find that weed money for sure. Oh yeah. And then that's just what it is. And that's what this whole thing is. I wanna find a way and hopefully this YouTube channel, and which not even hopefully it is, because you guys speaking in existence, it is going to blow up in a specific way where I can take it and then possibly decrease the suicide rate. Like even in this interaction that we're having right now, hopefully that this reaches somebody that is like, yo, I'm really going through it. I'm pretty accessible. Like a lot of people have my Instagram accounts and my Facebook accounts to just hit. I tell them all the time, yo, hit me. I'll help you figure it out. That's nothing. But I want to bring down that suicide rate because it's not created by, mostly school bullies and young gay and lesbian people trying to figure out their identity, a lot of it is created because you can't access your dreams.
Right.
And because you don't know the proper homework, or somebody that's already in the door didn't say, okay, this is the door. Turn the knob, walk through it. So you can save, because at the end of the day, you're saving lives. Like, you know, I ain't Batman and I ain't Superman, but this is about the best way I can save somebody's life.
Right.
So I think this is about the most important thing I could possibly do right now. Other than my music, but that's really important to me. So
that's good though, man. That's real dope, man. That's a real dope idea, man. Much praise to you for that.
I appreciate you.
All right, so man, before we slide off, man, on NewbieVeT, man, is there any love you want to shout out?
Oh, for sure. I'm definitely gonna shout out Ice for sure.
Shout out Ice.
Yeah, Ice. Shout out Ice. I'm gonna shout out my man DJ Aberrant. That's like my DJ. I don't do no. If I do a show, that's my DJ. That's my one of my best friends and my daughter's godfather. I'm gonna shout out my pops, because, you know, literally none of this would be possible without him, and my mother as well. So, you know, thank goodness for you guys. You know, that's really about, that comes to my mind. Maybe my grandmother, because, you know, she helped me shape me to be the person I am. But, you know, shout out to my best friends, because I ain't gonna hit the end of it if I don't say it. Right. So, you know, I love you guys, and that's just what it is. But other than that, that's it, man.
Okay. How can they follow you on social media?
Instagram is cat_N_Bilal. You might have to rewind it a couple of times just in case. My Facebook is Bilal Sharp, and that's about the best place to reach me. I kind of try to keep it my name, so you can reach me in case you want to figure out this travel thing. And TikTok is cat_N_Bilal, because I do my TikTok thing. All right. That's not no. But yeah, man, definitely, man. Shouts out to you though for having the time to actually do this interview with me, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man.